So I wanted to make a video just talking about my very favourite car in the world. I've always been a bit of a car nerd. I'm a car geek, I guess, or nerd, whatever you want to call it. Probably nerd, really. My dad says that the first word I could say was car, I always had a bit of an affinity with BMW. My mum had a Z1 in the early 90s. It was a 40th birthday present from her recently divorced husband, which is bizarre, but my father was quite generous because he wanted something to play with when he was in Spain. And then on through the years, I had a couple of minis, you know, the BMW minis, and I really liked those. I loved them, actually. And then a few years later, I mean, M cars were always like, wow, they're up there, you know. And I remember the F87 M2 and just seeing them in showrooms and being amazed. And then a few years ago, I had a Porsche Cayman S, which I quite liked. It was a very good car, handled brilliantly. Probably handled better than the car I'm in now. But I changed it because I ordered a 911 because I thought it was time to change after 4 years. I ended up cancelling it because at the time I couldn't really afford it. I was taking on a lot of debt to buy the car. So I thought, well, what can I get for a lot less money that kind of works? And the reviews have been out a lot for the M2. And I thought, that might be okay. And I went and drove one. And the one I drove is the one I'm sat in 6 years later. I adore this car. It is what cars are to me. I have a deep connection with it in terms of, I know what it's going to do. I've learnt the car. I've spent so much time driving it, and I've done track days. I've done road trips. I've done, you know, I crashed it in the Alps once. I basically hit a piece of curb that was hidden in a grass verge, and did some damage to the suspension, damaged both wheels on the left hand side. So yeah, that wasn't great. And it moved me to Spain. I used the car to move to Spain and it's just fantastic. The balance of the car is just brilliant, and they're so cheap now. 24 grand in the UK to buy one of these. It's just a decent one as well, one that's been quite well looked after. It just seems like people are missing something, you know. You can't get an RS3 the same age anywhere near the money, so it's just an absolute bargain, and it's so fun. The way it goes round a corner, and the way you can get it to drift, slide, and control the drift. There's no other car that does it. I've got a 992 GT3, and it's a much more capable car. I'm not saying it's not, it just is. You know, the suspension's on another level, the steering and everything else is. But the balance in the chassis, the way that this thing drifts and slides, this is a more fun car to drive. It's as simple as that. It's a more fun car to drive. I have spent some money on it. So I bought the car pre-registered, which you could do at the time, for £43,000. I've spent about 20,000 on it in a lot of modifications. I've done various things to the engine. I've done the usual stage 2 bits, which isn't actually all that much, but you know, I've done sports cap, remap, so it's running boot mod 3. It's got full M performance exhaust, which I put on. It's got bits of carbon fibre here and there. It's got M performance suspension. It's got the 763M alloys in frozen gold. It's got Millway top mounts. It's got it has had a bit of stuff done to it. We're on Michelin 4S tyres, and I would recommend Michelin's, the 4S's, over. I put Cup 2s on this car, and it ruined the character. It basically became a wannabe Porsche, and it just didn't work. The character of the car is a car that likes to slide, and the 4S tyres love to slide. They work in a slide. Cup 2s just want to grip, so they will slide, but you have to kick the arse out, and you are doing something a bit silly to get it to slide. So yeah, I'd recommend the 4S tyres. But other than that, I mean, if you can, buy one. It's as simple as that. Because if you're into driving, there's a lot of guys who aren't that into driving who an RS3 would probably work a lot better for, because they want something that grips and goes. This is a lot more involving than that. I describe this as, it's like a TVR but with traction control and better balance, because it wants to play. When you're going fast round a roundabout, it will break loose. The rear end just will. And provided you know what you're doing and are a bit of a driver, that's fantastic. That's what I want the car to do. But for some people, that I understand, they're more into something that can just grip and put your foot down and it goes. So yeah, this is my favourite car in the world. I've got an M2 LCI F87. I love the way it looks, I love the way it drives. I think they're ridiculous value for what they can do. I've got kid seats in the back. I've just dropped my kids off at school in it. I can't really sing its praises anymore. I always sing its praises. And as I said, I've got a 992 GT3. You know, I've got other cars, and I want to drive this one, you know, as much as possible. I just love it. So yeah, I just thought I'd make a little video about this car and what it means to me, and hopefully that's been of use to someone. Alright, I might do some more videos like this where I talk a bit about my cars and drive them, and I've also got a Golf GTI TCR, which is quite fun as well. So yeah, hope you're all well, whoever you are. Have a good day. Bye bye.